Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Hey everyone, so happy you can join us for the Love Everyone podcast
with your hosts Govind Das and Rama Chandra Das.
A conversation of love, devotion, and walking the path of Bhakti Yoga.
Jai Hanuman, welcome everybody. The Love Everyone podcast. My name is Govind Das.
Hey everybody, it's so great to be here again together. I'm Rama Chandra Das, and this is episode 14 of the Love Everyone podcast.
Episode 14. Yes.
Yeah, we're getting into some real numbers here, you know?
Do you think anybody's listening?
I don't know what. Somebody just texted me a couple days ago and said I loved episode 13. So
Great.
I hope people are enjoying it, and I sure am. I'm having a great time.
I'm having a great time too. And actually, I've gotten a lot of texts and emails from people saying they're really loving it as well. So we continue on episode 14. What a beautiful, beautiful thing.
So how is your new life in Encinitas, brother?
Brother, it's great. It's really, really wonderful. It just feels like a blessing to be here. There's just I'm just sensing there is spiritual light here. It's like very few places I've been to that I really feel this. And I don't know if it's because Yogananda was here and it's his light, or it's he saw something here and that's why he decided to land here.
Yeah.
Or it's the tons of devotees that are here that are keeping that energy going. But it's really, man, we've been really enjoying it a lot.
Are you close to the self-realization temple, or
about 12 minutes?
Nice.
You know,
have you been down there since you've been there?
Yeah, well, I surf at Swami's Beach, which is you look up from the beach and you see where Yogananda lived.
Yeah,
this little
kutir with the swimming pool and everything.
Yes, right there. So I feel so blessed to be surfing there. And I'm out there and I'm surfing and I'm doing the Hanuman Chalisa as I'm waiting for waves to come. And I couldn't be happier, brother. I'm like, this is a blessing.
Hey, do you think you can bring in a really great set of waves by chanting with more earnest intention?
As Krishna Das says, that's beyond my pay grade, right? I don't know about that stuff, but it seems like my mind is in a better place of just patiently waiting while I'm, instead of being, I need another wave.
I only got 20 more minutes. I got to get another good.
I can just sit and enjoy the reflection of the sun on the water and just be in the peace of Mother Nature. And so it puts me in the right place, regardless of what Mother Ocean does. It puts me in the right place.
Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful.
So they had this thing on Saturday night called India Night. And apparently
at the temple,
1,000 people were there, and they serve food, Indian food, for 1,000 people. And earlier that day, they clothe everybody. So whoever wants to come and get free Indian clothes to go to Indian Night in, you can just show up and they'll put a sari on you or a kurta.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you get to take it home with you? Or
yes.
Put it back in the box for next year.
Yes. Unfortunately or fortunately, we had kirtan,
you can't say unfortunately,
a mile up the way. So I wasn't able to go to it.
Oh,
and there was another kirtan in town that night as well, too. So there's a lot of spiritual culture here. And this temple, man, I think, Casey and Anka, they have this place called the Temple of Joy.
Yep.
And I went there Sunday morning for a meditation. Our brother Sharanam from Oregon. Do you know Sharanam?
Of course. He's down there.
Well, he was just down doing a little tour,
Uh-huh.
and he led a meditation on Sunday morning. And I was in tears, just feeling the blessings of being there in meditation, and his beautiful offering,
And
and
they're
just the,
Yogananda devotees as well, right?
they are, but there's Maharaji pictures everywhere.
Okay.
And they love Hanuman. They
Mm.
absolutely love Hanuman. They're
I love
beautiful,
Hanuman
beautiful
too.
people. I love
Speaking
Hanuman.
of Hanumans, I love that Hanuman right behind you. Can you tell us about that Hanuman? What that was a
Oh
gift
yes,
after your
yes. Well,
house burned
when during the fires, when our house burned down, Narayan, who's a dear elder brother of ours, and Maharaji devotee, and actually was one of the very first Western Shivananda yoga teachers. He was a direct disciple of Swami Vishnu Devananda.
Really?
And
I did not know
oh,
that.
yes. And he was a pujari, I believe, as well, too, at a Shivananda temple. I think it
Mm.
can't remember which one, if it was the one in
You know, speaking of that, the first time I ever met Narayan or saw Narayan was a Shiva puja at Bhakti Yoga Shala before the Shivratri kirtan
Yes,
that we all
yes.
did that night.
He's a deep brother, man.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, the day after the fires and all of my murtis were gone, he says, come over here. And I've been to his house many times. He's got the most extraordinary temple with what feels like thousands of deities, like
Huh.
so many deities. And he had like 10 Hanumans. And he said, pick whichever one you want.
Wow.
And I was going for this other one that had eyes and had a, painted
Mm.
a little bit. And he said, I really think you should take this one. I said, why? He said, it's just very powerful.
Mm.
But I was really drawn to this other one. He said, I really think you should take me. He said, me and Bhagavan Das have done a tremendous amount of puja to it. And he started laughing. He said, see this little brown thing in his mouth? We used to feed him Oreo cookies. And I said, okay, I guess I have to take this one home with me.
That's
I,
so fun.
I know.
I remember he gave a Snickers bar to the Shiva Lingam as
Oh,
well.
really? That's so
I
funny.
can remember he opened up the Snickers bar. I was like, a Snickers bar. That's
So
great.
it's like stained brown with
Yeah.
Oreo cookies.
Oh my gosh.
And honestly, since I've been sitting in front of it,
Mm.
it's come to life actually many times, that it feels that like there's something living inside of this stone morti.
Yeah.
So I'm just really feeling connected to it.
Well,
And
that's
interesting enough, it's the same position, there's so many different
mm.
positions.
As
And
your
this
last
is,
one.
yes, well, I've had many.
Mm.
The most pujas that I've done in my own practice have been to the Laya Sajivana line that we're going to work with today.
Wow, how perfect. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect perfect opening for that. That's so cool. Well, thanks for sharing. That's a really special Hanuman. I from the moment that I saw it on our Chalisa Zoom calls like months ago when you were because you had that right away back when you were staying at your friend's house in Venice.
Yeah.
And and you mentioned that you had gotten that from Narayan and I was immediately attracted to it. It's really
Mm.
special. So.
Yeah, it doesn't have any. I'm thinking about painting some eyeballs. Just so
Ah,
you
you want
can
little
like
eyeballs
just
there.
little, or those little Krishna stickers you can get of
Yeah.
eyes and put
What
on
about
it.
the little googly eyes? No. That they put on the rocks,
Well,
like
those are the ones I was thinking of getting. I saw on Etsy, you can actually buy those things.
really
Yeah,
like the ones they put on
on the orange
the
blob
Govardhan
Hanumans.
rocks. Well,
Yeah.
no, like but also like you know how like they'll do a puja to Govardhan and it'll just
Yes,
be like a
same,
rock
same.
with a couple
Yes.
of eyeballs glued
But
on.
they
Yeah.
also put those on, if I'm not mistaken, on the orange painted
For sure.
Hanumans as
Yeah, I
well
know
too.
exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, it's crazy how much I love an orange blob Hanuman.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it crazy? It's like it doesn't even hardly even look like Hanuman. I
No,
just know
but
it's
you see
Hanuman
these eyes,
because
right?
it's orange. Yeah. And because of those eyes.
And he's usually carrying his mace,
Yeah, and then maybe
right?
there's like a mace kind of
Or
sticking
he, and
out from
commonly
behind.
carrying the mountain as well too. You
Yeah.
see the
Uh-huh.
orange ones.
Yeah, I love that, But wow, but but the eyes on the sun-cut Mochen temple Murti
Mm.
in Varanasi. I mean, one's like this way, and one's looking this way, and the other one's looking that way. And the whole Murti is so abstract that if you weren't in a Hanuman temple, you probably have no idea that it's Hanuman. But I'm riveted by that thing.
Yeah.
Every time I'm there, I'm like having like such powerful darshan. And it's like a Picasso painting or something.
Mm. Mm.
It's so abstract.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that.
How's everything with you, man? How's you had Garish in Seattle last night?
Yeah, we had a kirtan with Girish, and that was really special because Girish, he produced our latest album, so we've become really good friends with him over the last couple of years, and he's just so talented. There's just something like, as a musician, first of all, he's just like, there's nothing he can't play. He can play a piano, he can play a guitar, he can play drums. Obviously, I mean, he started as a drummer, and then he was Krishna Das's tabla player way back when Krishna Das was just getting started, uh, and then he's just a really sweet, generous guy on top of that. And then he's been in it for so long. He's just very, a lot of Bob. And
Mm.
yeah, it was really special. And we put it together really quickly. I was looking at his Northwest tour, and I said about 2 weeks ago, and I said, what? I just looked at your poster. You don't have a kirtan in Seattle.
Mm.
He's like, oh, well, I was having a hard time setting things up and da 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 da. And I had given him some names, but then I didn't follow through because I was busy. We were traveling when he was setting it up. So we were traveling, and I didn't really have time to like be hands-on and help him out. And but they all fell through, or none of them came together. So he's like, yeah, so I've just decided not to do one. And I was like, give me a minute. I gotta make a call.
You're like, yo, talk to me.
Yeah,
I'll set
well,
it
I was,
up.
I mean, I knew it was
Yeah.
kind of because he had originally reached out to me, but then I hadn't really had the time and the energy to like give him the focus, I guess, or he didn't reach out and say, oh, by the way, those two people didn't work out or whatever. So anyway, so we set it up, and we had a great turnout, and it was great. It was a really nice time. So
Mm.
anyway, yeah, things are great, man. We're just enjoying the last rays of summer up here. Well, actually, we finally have summer up here in Seattle. So we've been having some nice, like they call it a heat wave up in Seattle, and that means mid 80s.
Mm. That's nice though.
Oh, it's perfect, man. A mid
Perfect
80s,
sun, mid 80s. I
mid
can't get
80s in
better than
Seattle.
that.
Everything's so green because there's so much
Well,
rain.
remember, I was there last time, like this weekend, I think last year at this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was close, or maybe it was September, but yeah, well,
And
it's
it
August.
was the sun was out the whole weekend. It was 80 plus degrees. I was like, this is heaven on earth, this
Yeah.
place. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe how green and beautiful that city is. So much water everywhere.
You wouldn't believe how many Californians move here in the summer.
Yeah.
And then the next summer they move back to California
So, so many clouds.
after a winter, they just because they're like, wait, I knew it rained a lot here, but I didn't know that it was going to be like gloomy for 3 months straight, So, but we just try to travel a lot and
That's it.
go to India, and we'll be in Taos with you and
Oh, I can't
Thanksgiving.
wait.
Oh, that's gonna be so great. Anyway,
Great.
so yeah, things are good. But hey, why don't we jump into our first line
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do
and
some opening invocations first.
perfect.
So, as we always do, everybody, we invoke our gurus so we can get out of our own way and let
Mm.
that highest consciousness of love and truth and wisdom shine forth through us. Om Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru, who revealed to me the supreme truth, which is unfragmented, infinite, timeless divinity, and which pervades the entire universe.
Jnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru, who opened my eyes, which had been blinded by the darkness of ignorance, by applying the divine ointment of self knowledge.
Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Guru is the creator, sustainer, and the destroyer. Guru is directly the supreme spirit, both manifest reality and the absolute. My reverential salutations to the glorious Guru who resides in the hearts of all beings as the true self.
Hari Om Bolo Shri Sadgurudev Bhagwan Ki
Jai,
Shri Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki
Jai,
Jai Jai Siya Ram Jai Jai Hanuman Ki.
Jai, Jai Hanuman. Oh, I love that what you said, that so we can invoke the gurus so we can get out of our own way.
Mm,
Oh man, if I could just get out of my own way, woo!
mm.
Watch out.
Watch out, world.
Watch out, world. Here, wait, here I come. That
Here
is
I
not right.
am.
Here
Here
I
I
am.
am.
Oh my gosh. All right, so everybody, for those of you just tuning in, what we like to do each episode is we explore one of the chopais, one of the verses from the Hanuman Chalisa. So we've been working our way through the Chalisa. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things to do, and I know that it's the same for you, Govindas. So we've been working our way through these chopais, these verses of the Hanuman Chalisa for 5 years now, with the Hanuman Chalisa sadhana in the mornings. But we're just doing one line per episode. And today's line is special for a lot of reasons, but one is that it is the 11th verse. Now, why would the 11th verse be special, Govindas?
Well, we talked about this on the 11th episode.
Oh, well, it's another
Remember?
opportunity.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
11, Hanumanji is considered the 11th incarnation of Lord Shiva. He's
Uh,
said to be the 11th Rudra.
mm.
And because of that, Hanuman is always associated with the number 11. And I think there's some other metaphor when I think of C21s, 1, 1, 11, it's all one.
It's all
That's
one.
what I think
Right.
of.
That's right. It's all coming back to me. It's 1-1.
It's 1, 1. That's right. I forgot about that. 1, 1.
1-1.
1, 1.
Oh God.
So
That's
Hanuman is commonly invoked by
mm.
doing things 11 times
Mm.
ritualistically.
You know what my favorite thing to do 11 times with Hanuman is to take Ganga bath
Oh yeah.
and take 11 dunks.
Oh yeah.
And I like to put one of my hands, well, oftentimes I put one of my hands on my nose to keep the water out, but but I put my other hand in Jnana Mudra, and and I do 11 dunks, and every time I come out, I go Jai Hanuman.
Yeah. Yeah. I do the same. And what I do when I surf, I'm holding my board and I take 11 dunks before I
Ah,
start paddling out.
aha,
Jai Hanuman. And
Jai
then I
Hanuman.
paddle out in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
All
I
right.
started every day. First thing, 11 splashes of water. This 11. Any way we can bring Hanuman into the mind.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Uh-huh. It's yeah, it's just a beautiful way. Every time you see the 11 number out there, or boom, Hanuman.
Or 11
Seven
Chalisas.
Chalisas, of course. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's look at today's line. So that's one of the reasons why it's special. Another reason why it's special is because it's just one of the greatest lines of the Chalisa, talking about one of Hanuman's most magnificent leelas. And the translation says, bringing the life-giving Sanjeevani herb, you revived Lakshman, and Sri Ram embraced you with delight. So, woo, that's a good one. And in fact, well, we'll get into it here in a minute. Let's look at the Avadi, uh, the original Hindi. It goes like this: Laya Sajivana Lakana Jiaye Shri Raghubira Harashi Ura Laye. It's just almost, it's so delicious to even say, isn't it?
Mm.
That's a good one. All right. So, hey, why don't you start us off, Govindas, and just share a little bit about, maybe what this line means to you or.
Yeah, there's a few things. There's Let's just backtrack a little bit and share the story that, okay, the great battle between Ram and his forces, the good guys, against Ravana, the demonic forces, the energy of the dark force.
Mm.
They've built a bridge across the ocean, the monkeys and Ram and Lakshman and Jambavan and all of the monkeys, Hanuman. They've gotten to Lanka, which is the island where Ravana's kingdom is. And the great battle is ensued between Ram and Ravana's forces. And Lakshman, who is Ram's brother, dear, dear brother, is wounded on the battlefield. And Ram is wounded as well, too. But Ram has been revived. But Ram then, seeing that Lakshman is wounded, is just beside himself. His heart is broken because of his love for his dear brother Lakshman, who is called to do seva is Hanuman. He's been told by this Ayurvedic physician named Sushena that there's this herb, this sacred herb called Sanjeevana, high up atop the Himalayan peaks. And think, they're all the way down in Lanka. That if you can get this herb by sunrise, this herb will revive Lakshman.
Mhm.
So Hanuman flies all the way up to this.
Wait, flies from Sri Lanka
Yes, Hanuman
to
has
the
mystical
Himalayas?
powers. Yes.
Thousands of miles.
Hanuman can do the impossible because he's doing it all for Ram.
Jai Shri
The
Ram.
impossible becomes
Mm.
possible. He flies all the way up to the Himalayas. I mean, let's not go too deep into the story, but Hanuman has trouble finding the particular herb. So what he decides to do is grow really huge because he can shapeshift, as we talked about in our last episode. He grows really huge and he digs his monkey claws into the earth and he lifts the whole mountain.
What?
I mean, what a metaphor, though.
Uh,
When we do things for God, we can move mountains
that's
in
it.
our life.
Yeah, it's not even, it's hardly a metaphor.
Right? It's truth.
It's just truth. Yeah.
So that's why if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this particular my Murti that I pray to. He's carrying this mountain, and many Murtis have the same image of Hanuman. He flies back all the way to Lanka.
Mm.
And this mountain with this sacred herb, as he gets closer, this the aroma of this herb, just the wafting of this herb, the smell of this herb in the air, it revives Lakshman.
Mm.
And not only does it revive Lakshman, but it revives all of the monkeys that have been wounded, that were lying wounded and even dead on the battlefield.
Mm.
Hanuman is sent back to put the mountain back in the Himalayas, and then he flies back, of course, and enters back into the battle.
I love what Ram says when he orders Hanuman to deliver the mountain back to the Himalayas. He says, because what if another great hero like you needs to get those herbs and he goes there and the mountain's gone? What's he going to do? So he says, so you better go back and put it back in case for that future hero that's going to need to access those. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. And so, just to tie this up, Hanumanji, and this is something we can talk about. Hanuman he's the divine pharmacist. He's the medicine man. He brings the medicine, and the metaphor for that, he's bringing the medicine to all of us, the medicine of Ram Bhakti,
That's it. Yeah.
of the sacred name.
The medicine and it's not just a medicine, but it's, as we hear it later in the Chalisa, it's a rejuvenative as well. It's a rasayana
Yes.
that Hanuman and his devotion, and him bringing that devotion to us. It's like it's a magic potion.
It is.
The
It's
magic potion of devotion.
the magic potion of devotion. Looking for another album title? There you
Yeah, the
go.
potion of
The
devotion. Well,
magic
I would,
potion.
what I would love to do is I'd love to get a potion of devotion, and I would even buy some lotion
I
of
was gonna
devotion if I
say,
could get some
I would rub
lotion.
some lotion of
I'd rub
devotion.
some lotion on me right there. You just
The
rub it right there.
emotion of
Oh,
devotion.
the emotion of devotion, of sure,
The
absolutely.
motion of
The
devotion.
ocean of
The
devotion.
ocean of devotion. And
Oh,
then, so lastly, this last part, and because Ram was so happy, he felt so grateful for Hanuman. This shifts us in the Chalisa into a few verses all about this. He embraces Hanuman with delight. He gives Hanuman the divine hug that is another one of the most special images in all religious iconography of God and the devotee embracing.
so beautiful, isn't it? This double whammy of this line, right? Because that first part, serve God and you can move mountains, but then also serve God and God embraces you.
Mm.
So, I mean, and from a devotional bhakti point of view, what's more what's more important, moving the mountain or being embraced by the divine, you know? I mean, there's nothing more. That's like it's like for Hanuman in this moment, like Hanuman has reached like the peak, pun intended. He's reached the pinnacle of devotion, to be recognized and to experience that literally a hug from God. He gets a hug from God.
What would that feel like?
Ah,
Can you just like even possibly put words to what would a hug from Sri Ram
feel
actually
like?
feel like?
Well, I feel like, well, the first thing, the thought that just popped into my mind is it must feel like being wrapped in Baba's blanket.
Mm,
Do you know? You
mm.
hear that a lot in Neem Karoli Baba tradition, because he's always wearing that plaid blanket. It's so famous that he's always got some kind of plaid blanket, and you hear people all the time, describing being wrapped up in Baba's blanket, and that. But even that, like, I can say those words and I can try to imagine what that feels like, but to me, like, honestly, I probably haven't experienced it, so I don't really know how to put words to it. What about you?
I think like samadhi, like you just go
Yeah.
into instant samadhi, like,
Yes.
and what is samadhi? I don't really know, but like you lose yourself. You
Yeah.
just you get sucked into like a like some kind of like vortex of energy, and you're just gone. And I guess that's total freedom and liberation right there.
Yeah. Where just everything about your personality and your likes and dislikes and your problems and your goals and all that just dissolve.
And the other thing I'm thinking, and beyond that, is the pleasure that you
Mm.
would feel in your body. Like
Bliss, so but
you
not
become
even, I think the
beyond.
pleasure.
I was almost thinking like electric. You would just
Uh,
become electric with bliss and pleasure.
Electric bliss.
Maybe that's for your rock band.
Electric bliss. I love it.
Hey, I've been thinking about that a lot.
Have
About
you
your
want to be in
rock
the
band.
you want to be in the band?
No, I'm not a rocker. I'm not a rocker, but I was thinking that there's so many kinds of rock and roll, and I'm just really eager to what angle you take when you take a kirtan mantra rock band. We don't have to talk about that now.
Okay, all right. Okay, all
This
right.
is for
Yeah, but Electric Bliss. So,
Electric Bliss is the
uh,
name of the band.
yeah, it is a good name for a rock band. It is a good name for a rock band. But it also sounds nice, doesn't it? Electric
Electric Bliss.
Bliss. It's it's like an electric blanket, you know.
Maharaji's blanket.
Maharaji's
That's
blanket.
the
It's
electric
electric
blanket of
bliss.
bliss.
The electric blanket of bliss. Oh man. Yeah, I think but I think here's another way maybe to describe what it would be like is like I think that to be embraced by God would also, would also have the feeling of being totally accepted,
Mm,
like for who you are, and just loved unconditionally. And I think unconditional love is something that human beings, like, we really have to reach along, when we hear this. And this is the Love Everyone podcast, and we even, even us coming up, not coming up with that name because Baba said love everyone, but we decided to call the podcast Love Everyone. But that's still like an ideal, you know. I would love to love everyone, but that's true unconditional love. And I think we're just so riddled with all of our doubts and fears and worries and insecurities and all that crap, that unconditional love is something that is really hard to come across. And but that must be what it feels like
yeah.
to just be this loved, just loved with every cell of your body, you know.
Yeah, I feel I'm that you said that word doubt. I think so much of humanity, or at least in the West, we all struggle with this self-doubt.
Mhm.
And we've talked about this a lot on the podcast through these last 13 weeks, that there's this subtle feeling that I'm just not good enough, that I'm just not worthy enough, that I don't say the right things, or that I don't show up the right way. And for that to be completely gone would be so empowering.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of the devotees that were with Maharaji had, what I've heard from people talking about their experience, about where just everything fell away and they knew that
Yeah.
he loved them, and he knew that he loved them completely, and they didn't have any doubt. Now they went away, he jowed them and they went home, and then they fell back into doubt and they realized they had all this karma to deal with. That's different. But in those moments that I've heard described from different devotees, that in those moments that they felt 100% loved, and they had no doubt that he loved them,
Mm.
you know. That must be a really, really special feeling to have that
Yeah,
dis
I sometimes I look at pictures of Maharaji and his face looks at me and is like, man, like I doubt even his love for me.
ah,
You
yeah.
ever feel that when I look
Yeah,
at
I
certain
feel like
images of
sometimes
him?
he's looking
He's
at me and he's like, "Why are you doing this shit again?"
that's what I get a lot. I look at he's looking at me like, come on,
Get it together.
get it together. You don't be a schmuck, you know, just live from your heart.
Wonder
We
what
have this thing about the word schmuck, and we were in Germany, and above these shops, these jewelry stores, it would say schmuck. And so I typed it in on Google or whatever. What does schmuck mean in German? And it means jewel.
Jewel.
So now
Interesting.
my son and daughter, they keep calling each other, oh, you're such a schmuck.
You're
Oh,
such a
thank you for
schmuck.
calling me a jewel, you know?
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, you know, so
But that's probably, you know, like honestly, he's probably not looking at you like that. That's probably
no,
our own, like, you know,
right.
your own projection, right?
That's my
Yeah.
projection because
Yeah.
I know I'm stuck in a
Yeah.
place of ego.
Yeah. And you're probably even having the thought of like, why am I doing this same old shit again?
You know, Ram Dass always used to say, we look outside of ourselves for external things to say you're good enough, you're worthy enough, you deserve this or that. But I guess in Maharaji's presence, they didn't need to look outside. It was just,
Mhm.
that's the hug right there
Yeah.
that you just feel totally at peace.
Yeah. And that field that you're just walking into when you're in his presence. Hmm. I sure would like to get a hug from Ram.
Mm,
But here's the thing. Probably this message that Tulsidas is giving us, you know, is that we are constantly, you know, receiving a hug from God.
yeah.
You know, in the way that even just the way that the earth just provides for us and just is constantly showering, you know, food and shelter and whatever it is that we need, you know, and that we really experience that uh, when we are actively, you know, serving, you know, because I know that the most love that I have felt in my life has not come from somebody loving me.
Mm,
And it's come from me being of service and then recognizing the value of what I'm doing and then experiencing a touch of self-love.
yeah. It,
It
it it comes from the inside.
comes from the inside.
It comes from the inside.
Mhm.
And I think we so frequently we've somehow bought into this belief that it's going to come from the outside.
Mhm.
And if we can just keep flipping it back to it comes from the inside, and I think it how the way you can access that is through directing that inner love towards your Ishtadevata.
Ah,
So that gets us towards what the essence of bhakti as the path of love
mhm.
is all about.
So it's interesting. So it comes from within, and then we we radiate it out. And I think not just our Ishta Devata, but our satsang
Our
and
satsang, even our families and our
the
dogs and
families, the people around us, the environment even around us, and that then gives us that sense of fulfillment or, you know, dissolving of the ego and the dissolving of the doubts. So, but you know, I think too, speaking of coming from within, I think as well that Sanjeevani, the message too is that this, I think that we have the medicine within us too, because this medicine, this rasayana, this rejuvenative medicine that we were talking about, the potion of devotion, it comes from our practice, comes from our willingness to surrender to the Guru, willingness to surrender to Hanuman, to surrender to Ram, to surrender to the higher powers that are at play, and that that's literally how we heal ourselves. I mean, I literally believe, there's many that can back me up on this, and I think you'll agree as well. Um, that Bhakti Yoga is medicine. We can heal ourselves by singing kirtan. Some of my friends make a joke. They used to call me Dr. Kirtan. They still do sometimes, because people will be like, "Oh, I'm like having trouble sleeping," and I'm like, "Well, try 2 hours of kirtan and call me in the morning."
Yeah.
Or like, "Oh, I've been like fighting with my husband, and there's all this anger in the house and everything," and I'll be like, "Well, have you guys tried kirtan?" Try a couple hours of kirtan and then call me in the morning, because there's a part of me that really believes that there's almost nothing that a devotional practice can't cure.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's nothing that the divine name can't cure.
Mm.
Like, it's been spoken about by all of the great saints and sages that this divine name, everything is possible
Yeah.
when we chant this divine name.
And
So,
yeah,
yeah,
you're only going to discover that through experience, though, aren't you? Though,
yeah,
because like when you just hear that, if you haven't experienced it, you'd be like, what are you talking about?
yeah. It
One
seems
syllable.
ludicrous.
Yeah, Ram, what? It just seems completely ludicrous, and you might even, I've heard people use things like, "Oh, that's spiritual bypass," to say that, you know.
But you have to have the gyan, and the gyan is that the name is non-different
Mm.
from the deity, from the energy. So the name is the sonic embodiment of the deity. So as you chant the name, it's you start vibrating with that, in that energy field. And when that gets in your cells, that's real alchemy.
Ah, it's electric bliss.
That's electric bliss. That's the electric blanket of bliss.
That's the electric blanket of bliss. Oh man, it's yeah, it's really this line. Oh, it's like magical to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Hanuman flying through the sky,
lifting a
carrying a
mountain.
mountain, a monkey carrying a mountain with
Everybody,
sacred herbs.
yeah, the monkeys all coming alive, Lakshman all coming alive. And the one element of the story that I think is important for people is that you didn't mention is that none of the demons came alive when the Sanjeevani herb was brought, because Ravana was so concerned that Ram and his army would like be able to determine how many demons had been killed, that he ordered all the demons after each battle. He would order all the demons that had been killed to be thrown in the ocean.
Mm.
So they were submerged under the water, and they weren't able to smell the rejuvenative herb.
Mm.
So not only did Lakshman revive, and not only did the monkeys revive, but they actually then became the stronger army.
And what is that? That head of Ravana's ego? Pride,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He was too proud, prideful to have anyone think that his demons had been killed.
yeah.
So he made sure they were all swept into the ocean.
And look,
Pride's an interesting one.
we had a chat about this
Yeah,
a few.
we did. We did.
Yeah, yeah. because, we say to each other things like,
You should feel good. You should be happy about
you
what
should
you.
be proud. You should be proud. But at the same time, we're like, oh, but pride is one of the seven deadly sins.
Yeah.
You should be proud. But wait a second, I'm getting a double message here, everybody.
And I think we navigated through it by saying it's okay to feel good about yourself, but don't get all inflated,
That's it. Yeah. And
right?
that takes practice.
It does, because feeling good about yourself is very important.
It is. But how easy it is to get puffed.
How easy.
Someone
Yeah.
gives you a compliment about something,
Start walking around.
yeah, hey.
Hey, check me out. Look how great I am.
I'm pretty great. I'm pretty great. I love
Until the
Ram
other
Dass.
head is going, you fucking suck.
Yeah, you suck. And the
You're
other one is
awful.
like, you're okay. And the other one was like, no one gives a shit. Anyway. But I love it.
But you make believe this one is the most important, that look at me.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
great
Well,
I
that's
am.
that's Ravana's central main head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that Ram Dass talks a lot about this. You remember he says, you get to that point where you're like, well, I'm special. Hey, and you're pretty special. We should do something special together.
But what's really interesting, what emerged out of Ram Dass's teachings is one of his probably few main teachings through his lifetime is becoming nobody.
Yeah.
The game is to become is to become nobody special.
Yeah. But what does he say about becoming nobody?
You got to become somebody first.
Yeah, you got to become somebody first. What a Leela is that?
That's a trip right there.
Yeah, it's like you gotta oh man, that
You
trips
got to
me.
build yourself up to then unwind it,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
understand what you're unwinding. I think that's why I don't think you can
yeah.
really teach kids become nobody. They won't get that, because
No,
their
because you're
ego.
telling them like you gotta be somebody. What do you want to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with your life? You hear that for the first 40 years of your life. What are you gonna do with your life? And then maybe for me, maybe around 35, I was like, well, I want to be nobody.
Right.
And then it's like an unlearning situation. And still, of course, the whole time dealing with the same demons, dealing with the same 10 heads, saying all that stuff. Um, so yeah, so becoming nobody, but you got to become somebody first
Yeah.
before you can become nobody. So anyway, yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite Ram Dass. I call it, to me, that feels like a Buddhist koan or something.
Yeah.
Because you can't just like go, oh, okay, cool. And just go to the grocery store and like, become nobody, but become somebody first and then, become nobody later. You got to really meditate on it, I think.
You got to strip the ego of its power. That's what becoming nobody is. You got to
Yeah.
thin out your ego. And how do you thin out your ego? I think by observing your ego, right? Like,
Mm.
and not um, identifying. He always said, extricating your
Mm.
awareness from attachment to your egoic thoughts. So you pull back and you observe it. And I guess, because I'm not there, as you get good at that.
I know. I love it. Sometimes this is all hypothetical, everybody. I guess what happens is that, yeah, that's good. That's good.
And then it doesn't have its power over us. And I guess we've experienced that we've been meditating for long enough. We've experienced that.
So, here's an example of something. It was like this is going to sound really crazy. It's a very mundane situation, but it was like on some levels, it was like a spiritual, it was like a, maybe not spiritual, but uh, like a meditative victory or something. Was that the other day I was getting ready to go over to my folks' house and jump in their pool because as I said, we're experiencing a heat wave and it was low 80s. So
And that's hot.
yeah. um, and so I was, I needed to get the dog in the backyard to go to the bathroom before I could leave him, for a couple hours. So I was running around the house and doing my stuff, and I opened the back door, and this has never happened before. There's like literally like an 1/8 inch lip on the threshold, and I stubbed one of my toes
I've done that.
so hard, and I lurched forward, and there's like about 8 feet of deck, and then there's 2 steps down onto concrete.
Mm.
And I lurched forward, and there's like one of these like really flimsy little like drying racks that you put your wet clothes on, kind of things, like a little plastic folding thing, really flimsy. But it just was enough as I knocked it off and broke it and everything, and it went flying. But it was just enough to keep me from like literally headlonging out onto the concrete. But I kind of made a little like, like that as I was lurching forward. But then, and I'm like, I was in so much pain. Like it was just radiating. I didn't even know which toe it was because there was just this big ball of pain in my foot. But I didn't yell out a curse word. I didn't scream. I didn't make any noise. I was like actually like silent. And like I was like in this like really weird state where I was experiencing this massive physical pain, but the rest of my body and my consciousness was totally calm.
Mm.
And it was like, wow. Because I mean, most of the time, my experience with something like that is there's a lot of F bombs coming out of my mouth,
Yeah.
when something like that happens.
Well, that's that interesting, in the Buddhist meditation practices, it's like we don't even judge it so much as pain. It's just intense sensation.
Yeah.
So you're taking it away as that it's a negative thing, and you just feel the just pure sensation without any judgment of it. And I can see from there how there's some quietness
Mm,
around it,
yeah.
around
I
the
mean, my
experience.
my experience was just like the only thoughts that I really had was like my fingers were kind of trying to like determine if I had just because I mean it felt like I had just broken every toe in my foot, and so that was the only kind of thought was like, did I break my foot? Did I break my toe? And I was trying to kind of feel around a little bit with my fingers, but and it lasted a long time. I mean, I literally was throbbing in bed that night. Like hours later, it was throbbing. And if I could show it to you right now, it's just purple and pink and it's all kinds of crazy colors. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. But that just something you said about meditating and about extracting our awareness
Yes,
from
yes.
circumstances, made me think of that.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
Get better soon. Get better.
Oh,
Oh man.
thank you. I appreciate that. I'm waiting for the card that you're going to send me.
Yeah, I
I
was
want in
gonna
the
send
mail.
flowers tomorrow.
Oh yeah, please do. That'll make my toe feel so much
And
better,
some chocolates and some flowers.
dude. Do not send me chocolate and flowers. That would be weird. That would be weird. I wouldn't know what to make of that. You can send me like, I don't know, Hanuman stickers or something cool
So,
like that. But
sticker of Hanuman carrying the mountain.
yeah,
The
that's it.
secret.
That's it. Hey, so you know what might make me feel better though?
A little LSD.
A little LSD. Should we
What do
take
you
a hit?
think?
Yeah.
I think we should.
I'm open to it. I mean, I don't really have anything else going on the rest of the
I'm looking, it's like 1:34 on a Monday
day.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Although I have to go pick up my kids at school
yeah,
and
but it won't be coming on strong yet. You probably just make sure you're home. Make sure you're home by, I don't know, 2:30, 2:45. Well,
All right.
everybody, we're not talking about taking drugs.
Do we have to say this every single
I don't know.
episode?
It's just, don't you enjoy it? Okay. All right. No, I guess we don't
Let's
have.
say it. Just say it. Just say
Okay. Well, we're not talking about drugs, everybody. We're talking about taking a hit of love, service, and devotion.
LSD.
LSD, the OG LSD. So I don't know. I still get a kick out of it, and I'm assuming if I get a kick out of it, that the folks listening are getting a kick out of it.
I get a kick. I get a real kick out of
I
it.
get a
You know what
super
I'm
kick.
talking
Oh my God. I'm feeling it. We haven't even taken it yet.
I
I can
got
already feel it,
I got an electric thrill, electric
Got
bliss going.
an electric blanket of bliss wrapped all around me. Oh man,
Okay.
I don't even know what the LSD is yet. Are you going to share it with us?
Yes.
What kind of
Ready?
LSD are we taking today?
This is Michael Beckwith.
Hmm.
This is called, what's a good name for this one? The Blessing LSD.
Hmm.
Very special strain. Okay, here we go. We do not pray to God to give us blessings.
Hmm.
We pray to get in attunement with God so that the blessings that are flowing, that are always flowing, can flow through us and we become vehicles for it. Let me read it again. Again, Dr. Michael B. Beckwith of the Agape Spiritual Center in Los Angeles, an amazing high soul.
Hmm.
We do not pray to God to give us blessings. We pray to get in attunement with God so that the blessings that are always flowing can flow through us and we become the vehicles for it.
Hmm.
What do you think? Any thoughts, any reflections?
It's
You
so.
like this? You
I
like this?
love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. I'm just trying to put my words together because I'm kind of in the bliss bubble of it all. That it's it's really easy to forget that the blessings are always flowing, right? It's really, I mean, I forget all the time, you know. In fact, I have like when things are really not going my way, um, and that could literally just be as much as me just being overwhelmed with negative thoughts, because that's not my way. My way would be like being overwhelmed with thoughts of devotion and love and um, things like that. But when things aren't going my way, sometimes I have these crazy thoughts like Baba's withholding his grace from me. Like it's something that I must have done something, or I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to be doing. And that because of that, like I'm somehow being punished,
Mm.
or that the grace he's not giving me the grace that he used to be giving me, that somehow like I've done something and it's I've cut myself off from the grace. And that, according to this quote, that's just me basically watching the wrong channel, right? Not tuned in to the right channel. Because what Beckwith is saying right here is that this grace is always flowing, the blessings are always flowing, and that we do our practices, and specifically, we do our prayers. You know, the agape affirmative prayer is a really beautiful, beautiful thing. I actually spent a few years at agape just as I was getting onto the bhakti path, and it wasn't quite my path. And I found kirtan and found, Hanuman, and that was much, much more my style of things. But agape means unconditional love. So back to that word that we were talking about, agape means unconditional love. And there's a lot of love at agape. And this affirmative prayer that he does is very powerful, but it always begins with gratitude. So we always say thank you. And then we just affirm what's already happening. And maybe we can't see that. So, for example, like let's say I want to pray, I'm experiencing some health issues and I want to pray about it. I don't say, God, make me healthy. I say, God, I'm so grateful for this body. I see myself as perfect and whole and complete and healthy and full of well-being. And so that's like us tuning our consciousness into the the vibration of health. And that's just one example. But like what he's saying here is like we're tuning ourselves that when we pray and we do our practices, is that those practices are all designed, and the prayer should be designed, instead of saying, God, give me something, the prayer is designed to say, God, make me aware of what's already here. Because we're surrounded by all these different fields, these energy fields. And I guess it really boils down to is that we kind of have, well, not kind of, we have a choice about which energy field we're going to dip into. And is it going to be that energy field of light and love, or is it going to be that energy field of the darkness and the demonic? And that's what so much of all of our stories of the deities and all of the Puranas and all of the Leelas that we read about and hear about and talk about in satsang are ultimately all about that. Is like we want to tune ourselves in to the light, and we want to stop watching that channel, that darkness channel. And so this is a really, to me, this is a really beautiful reminder that it's all good, and that, as Maharaji said, that it's, that everything is perfect. And that's the channel we want to watch, and tune into. How about you? What does this bring up for you, brother?
It's bringing me up some sort of feeling like I've just been praying the wrong way my whole life. Because in my own, privacy of my own prayers, I'm asking God for all sorts of things,
Hmm.
even material things. And so I get what he's saying. I really love this view, this perspective. And I think it's a very empowered place to pray from, rather than an unempowered place of asking for something from some other being. This is that you're a part of it, and that you're just waking up to seeing that whatever you could ever want is already present. And I've definitely, in my own decades of spiritual life, played with those kinds of perspectives, and I see them incredibly, incredibly valuable. It's like we just want to find, I think this is something that Dr. Michael Beckwith is so um he's found like certain keys that unlock the cleanest doorway into spiritual abundance and
Mm.
spiritual well-being. And I don't doubt that this could be a really almost like fast track for shifting your consciousness to a very high state and high level.
Mm.
As I said, on some level, from a bhakti perspective, we take a different level that I'm just a no good beggar, that, I'm a speck of dust on your feet, and I have nothing and I know nothing, and I am even worthy of nothing. So please just give me a drop of devotion through your holy name, and that's enough for me. Sometimes we hear a lot of this kind of language, which I appreciate as well too, because it really helps to, as we've been talking about, put the ego in check.
Yeah.
So I see both sides of the coin. I do see the side of the coin that you can ask God for whatever you want. And I truly believe, whether it's material or spiritual, that if it's sincere, and it's dharmic, and it's good for the well-being of all, that I have faith that God answers all sincere prayers.
Mm.
And yet I really vibe with what he's speaking about here as well too. Is it's how you pray.
Mm.
And in very certain bhakti perspectives, you ask for nothing except eternal devotion to the
That's
holy
it.
feet of Lord Ram.
Yeah.
The only thing I ask for is just show me where I can serve.
Hmm.
But I'm a beginner bhakta, right? Like, you know, like this saying is like, how can we say like, I don't want to say bad, but like, novice bhakti is better than no bhakti, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's
Hell
where
yeah.
I'm hanging out in
Any
the
bhakti is
space.
better than no bhakti. That's
Beginner
good.
bhakti is
Yeah,
better
I
than
think what I
no
was thinking
bhakti.
as you were talking about though is I think there's a balance from a bhakti perspective, because this is a very like his teachings all stem from the science of mind,
Yeah,
which was from Ernest Holmes, and the science of mind is a very very like mental metaphysical approach to liberation. But like, you love in your yoga classes. I've heard you 100 times, in Shavasana, or maybe near the end of class, you might have us all do affirmations.
love affirmation.
Yeah, but and this is exactly what he's talking about, I think, is that we're just affirming that the blessings are already there.
Yeah, he as you call him, Beckwith. I can't say I can call him just Beckwith. That would be like me calling Krishna Das.
You got to call him Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith.
That's what I'll tell you. I don't know him personally, so I can't just
Oh,
call him
anyway, I mean,
Beckwith.
I'm not like buddies with him or anything, but I have been in classes with him and stuff.
Yo, Das, what's
Yo,
up?
hey, hey, Das.
um,
Yeah,
but
and
it's all about what I have studied with him, and I really love his teachings and feel incredibly inspired
mm,
by his teachings. But it's all about like raising yourself to a certain frequency,
yeah,
and when you are at that frequency, you become very attractive to the universe, the blessings of the universe.
and and here's what I think. What you were saying though is, I think you said you can ask God for anything as long as it's like a pure intention. It's a dharmic intention, right? So that means there's a lot of things actually that are you're going to ask him for, or might ask God for, that are not dharmic things.
I asked for some of those too.
Yeah. Well, but what I was going to say is I think the most important in reflecting on this quote, yeah, might want to keep those to yourself, Govind, is do you mind if I just call you Das? um, I think the most important thing that's like kind of coming through for me is that it's like it can be a slippery slope to putting yourself into a place of lack,
Yeah.
right? And because of Beckwith's association with the science of mind and the power of thought, is that if we are praying, the universe and God hears the intention and the emotion, I believe, way more than the actual language,
Mm, yeah.
right? So because we what God speaks English. I mean, it's like on some levels, it's kind of like it's so much beyond that, and
Yeah.
our emotions and like our heart and that energy field is so much bigger, and God can see through everything and knows exactly what we really want. So if we are praying from a place of lack and we are expressing, this idea of like I was expressing at the beginning of the conversation here, where I was like, oh, well, sometimes when things aren't going my way, I have these thoughts of like, oh, Baba is withholding his grace from me. I have done something wrong, or I'm not doing something right, and et cetera, et cetera. That's basically essentially a place of lack. And that's not gonna get the grace flowing again. And what he's saying is, you want the grace to flow, well, you got to recognize it's flowing already and then tune into that,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that that's ultimately, if we are experiencing a place of like, I'm praying, please God, give me a car because I'm desperate for a car, because I feel like I don't deserve a car, and because I don't have enough money for a car, and because the world's out to get me. And if that's my emotional state when I'm praying, then I don't, what I think Beckwith is kind of saying is it's not going to work out necessarily the way that you want it to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you say, God, please help me get to that place where I serve, and you mean it earnestly, and you really want to get to that place that you serve and be in the presence of the people that are important to you, to be in their presence, that then the vehicle will come. And then what Beckwith, or Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, right at the end is he says, and then I love this part, and we can finish up here because we got to wrap it up here in a minute, is that then you become a vehicle for that blessing. So when we tune into that channel and we begin to experience those blessings, then they just flow right through us, and they just carry, and then they're started to touch everyone that we. It's like you were just expressing, like those people are very attractive when they're the people who are like Neem Karoli Baba was very attractive. He was a conduit for God. He was.
Yeah, it's this. I think what I'm just really getting with his, you are a part of God, and because you are a part of God versus separate from God, it's your own energy that's flowing through you, and the blessings that are already you become so much bigger, and you are vast as the universe itself when you realize that you are a part of it, versus when with more of a dualistic view, you're so limited and small, and from that place, where can those blessings flow from, and how do they flow through you? It's a very tricky
No, but I think you just
thing.
nailed it. I think you just nailed it. Is that, and I think that's where this dovetails sweetly into that bhakti perspective, because on one sense the bhakti perspective has this sense of separation, like, oh, I fall at your feet, Hanuman, and I am just as humble as a blade of grass, and um, I don't know anything. There's that aspect of the humility, perhaps, but you know there's also you know the recognition that you were just describing of that we're all microcosms of the macrocosm, and that we all have within us, just what we were talking about earlier, we all have this herb, the Sanjeevani herb within us, that healing property. We all have that love that we're talking about, that you get when you get an embrace from God, is comes from within. And then to carry that on into this is that we just become a vehicle for all of that grace of God and all those blessings to move through us. And
it's I think what I'm getting is you're not trying to manipulate anything from the outside. You're just changing your state of mind from his perspective.
yeah,
And in changing your state of mind, well, look, that old saying, change your mind, change your life.
that's it.
And
That's the
and when you
science of mind.
change when you, as you kept saying, do you mind if I call you Das?
I would love, I would love it if you
When
called.
Das was saying, um, when you change the channel, right? Ram Das, the other Das, used to say that too. You change the channel. The big Das.
Big DOS.
That you change the channel of your own mind.
Yeah.
And that opens up a whole vaster bandwidth that you access.
Beautiful. Well,
Das, I love you. I love you, Das.
I love you too, Das. Double DOS. We're going to double DOS today.
Double date with a double Das.
Oh, does that mean we get to bring the wives?
Sure. Why
Okay.
not?
Okay. That's how we make it a double date.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a weird date between two DOSes.
It would be pretty electrically blissed, though.
All right,
We'd be electric in our love for Ram.
That's true. That's true.
All right, let's close out.
Let's close out. What a beautiful session, though. I really appreciate all your words of wisdom, brother. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We love having you here. And we're going to just finish with some closing prayers. So please, everybody, just tune into that channel of love, that channel of compassion, that channel of truth. And try to stay on that channel as long as you can. So we begin with our closing prayers. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
May all beings, including ourselves, be happy, be well, and be free from suffering. May all of our thoughts, may all of our words, and may all of our actions in some way contribute to that happiness, that well-being, and that freedom from suffering for all, including ourselves, including ourselves, including ourselves.
Love everyone, serve everyone, feed everyone, and remember God.
Bolo Shri Sadgurudev Bhagwan ki.
Hey.
Shri Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj ki.
Hey.
Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Hanuman ki.
Hey. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Brother Das.
Thank you, Brother Das. Have a great, great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We love you all, and we look forward to next episode.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Hanuman.